Every year, lakhs of students finish coding courses, add project after project to their resume, and they still get ghosted by every company that they apply to. In fact, according to a report by Forbes India, nearly 83% of engineering graduates in India fail to land a job or even an internship. Now, before blaming the country for unemployment, for a minute, imagine you are the recruiter who decides who gets hired. Now, you will not care how many certificates land on your desk or how many tutorials someone has finished last weekend. The only thing you will care about is whether the candidate can solve problems your company deals with every single day. And my friend, that's the exact filter recruiters used, and almost nobody preparing for a tech job ever sees it from that side. But in this video, I'm flipping it around. Instead of telling you what sounds impressive to learn, I'm showing you what's quietly sitting on a hiring manager's checklist right now. I'll talk about 8 coding skills that companies are actually hiring for today. If you master any of this, a high-paying job is just one application away from you. Let's start with the most common skill you will notice on every job description that you see. At number 8, we have Python. If you ask 10 software engineers which language a beginner should learn, you will probably hear 10 different answers. But if you ask companies which language they keep hiring for, one name shows up almost everywhere, and that is Python. The reason isn't that the Python is the fastest language or the most powerful one. It is because Python has quietly become the common language across multiple industries. Now, whether it's backend development, automation, data engineering, AI, cybersecurity, or even cloud scripting, Python fits into almost every workflow. And that's why learning it doesn't lock you into one career path. It gives you the flexibility to explore several. Another reason companies like Python is productivity. Most businesses don't care whether a feature was written in the most clever way. They care about shipping reliable software faster. And Python's simple syntax allows developers to spend less time fighting the language and more time solving actual problems. That's exactly why companies like Google, Netflix, Spotify, Uber, Instagram, Dropbox, and even Nvidia continue to use Python in different parts of their product. And its demand isn't slowing down either. Python continues to be the most popular programming language in India by search interest, and it consistently appears amongst the most requested technical skills across thousands of job descriptions. So don't treat Python as just another programming language to tick off your list. Treat it as a tool that opens multiple doors. Once you are comfortable with it, you can move into Django or Fast API for backend development, Pandas and SQL for data analysis, TensorFlow and PyTorch for AI, Selenium for automation, or cloud platforms like AWS and Azure. So don't ask, should I learn Python? The better question is, what career do I want Python to unlock? The language takes a few months to learn, but the opportunities it opens up can shape your career for years. Now at point number 7, we have SQL. No matter how advanced an application looks from outside, most of it eventually comes down to one thing, which is reading and writing data. Every payment, every login, every order, every customer, every profile, and even every movie recommendation, every banking transaction exists because somewhere a database is storing that information. And the language used to communicate with those databases is SQL. And that's why SQL has survived every technology trend for decades. New programming languages come and go, frameworks change every few years, but companies still need engineers who know how to retrieve, how to filter, join, and analyze data efficiently. In fact, many backend, data engineering, analytics, and even software engineering interviews still include SQL rounds because it's one of the quickest ways to evaluate how logically someone thinks about data. The mistake many beginners make is treating SQL like a list of commands to memorize. That's rarely how it's used in real world. Companies care far more than that, and they want people who can solve business problems using data. Can you identify your top customers? Can you find why revenue dropped? Can you combine information from multiple tables to solve a real problem? That's the mindset interviewers are looking for, because at the end of the day, applications generate data, but businesses run on the decisions made from it. And if you know how to work with data, you will always have a skill that's in demand. And by the way, if you're looking to master SQL, I have a free course uploaded on the channel over here. You will also find the link in the description below. On number 6, we have Git and GitHub. If you think Git is just a place to upload your projects, you just need to see it from the perspective of the companies. The moment you join a software company, you stop writing code alone. Every feature you build is connected to the code written by dozens of other software engineers. Sometimes hundreds of developers are working in a team, and sometimes even thousands. If one engineer accidentally overwrites someone else's work, an entire product release can get delayed. That's exactly why Git is one of the first tools every engineering team expect you to know. But learning Git isn't about memorizing commands like git commit or git push. It's about understanding how professional teams build software together. You will learn how branches allow multiple developers to work on different features simultaneously, why pull requests are used before code reaches the production, and how reviews help catch mistakes along before customers even see them. You will also become comfortable resolving merge conflicts, something almost every developer faces sooner or later. One thing many students don't realize is that interviewers often look at your GitHub profile before they even look at your resume. They don't check how many green squares you have. They observe whether you have built real projects, whether your commits tell a story, or whether you know how to work like an engineer instead of someone who only writes code in an IDE. Because today, software is built by teams, and Git is the language those teams use to collaborate. On number 5, we have JavaScript and TypeScript. We are talking about coding, and JavaScript isn't there. That's not possible, right? Because almost every dashboard, every admin panel, e-commerce website, SaaS product, or even AI chatbots that people use every day needs a front end that feels fast, responsive, and even reliable. And that's exactly where JavaScript continues to dominate the market. But here's what's new today in 2026. Companies aren't just asking for JavaScript anymore. More and more engineering teams are moving forward towards TypeScript because modern applications have become too large to manage with plain JavaScript alone. As products grow, small mistakes become expensive. TypeScript helps developers to catch many of those mistakes while they are still writing code instead of discovering them after deployment. Another interesting shift we are seeing now is that front-end developers are no longer expected to only build user interfaces. They are integrating AI features, consuming APIs, optimizing performance, improving accessibility, and even working closely with backend teams. In other words, companies want engineers who understand how application works end to end, and not just developers who only know how to center a button. So if you're planning to become a web developer today in 2026, don't stop after learning JavaScript. Learn modern frameworks like React, understand TypeScript, and even build projects that communicate with real APIs. That's much closer to what companies expect from front-end engineers today than simply creating static websites. On number 4, we have APIs. Now, whenever you open an app and tap on the button "Continue with Google," that login barely takes 2 seconds. But behind the scenes, that app is communicating with Google servers, verifying your identity, receiving your profile information, and even creating your session, and all of this happens through the APIs. And that is why APIs have become one of the most important backend skills today. Modern software isn't built as one giant application anymore. Every product depends on dozens of external services, whether it's payments through Stripe or Razorpay, maps from Google, notifications from Twilio, and AI responses from OpenAI or Gemini. But APIs are what allow all these systems to work together reliably. That's why companies value developers who understand REST APIs, authentication, HTTP methods, JSON, and even API security. Today, businesses rarely build every service themselves. They integrate existing platforms and ship much faster. AI has accelerated this trend even further. Most companies aren't training their own language model. They are connecting their application to existing models through the help of API. That shift is reflected in developers' workflow too, with over 1 million of public GitHub repositories are now integrating LLM SDKs. Companies aren't looking for developers who know every API, but they are looking for engineers who know how to connect products. And once all those services start talking to each other, somebody has to make sure that entire system can handle the real traffic. And that's exactly why cloud computing is the next skill on the list. On number 3, we have AWS and cloud computing. Well, we all know that Netflix serves hundreds of millions of hours of video every single day. Amazon handles millions of customer requests during Prime Day. So companies at that scale don't worry about writing another feature. They worry about whether their application can survive millions of users without slowing down. That's exactly where cloud computing comes in. AWS is the platform companies use to deploy their application, store data, balance traffic, automate servers, and even recover from failures. And that's why startups build on AWS from day one. And enterprises like Netflix, Samsung, Airbnb continue to rely on it for a large part of their infrastructure. Now, for you as a developer, nobody expects you to memorize 200 AWS services. But understanding things like IAM, EC2, Lambda, and basics of deployment tells recruiters that you can build software people can actually use, not just software that runs on your own laptop. Now, AWS has remained the world's largest cloud platform with roughly around 30% market share, which is why cloud skills continue appearing across backend, DevOps, and software engineering job descriptions. Companies aren't hiring cloud engineer because AWS is popular. They're hiring them because modern software simply doesn't exist without a cloud infrastructure. Now, moving to the next skill, without which this list and today's job market is incomplete. On number 2, we have AI tools and AI assisted developments. Now, if two developers are given same feature and one of them ships it in 3 days while the other one ships it in 6 hours with the help of AI, the company isn't paying for the one who typed more code. It's paying for the one who actually delivered the result faster without compromising the quality. And that's exactly why AI-assisted development has become a hiring skill rather than just a productivity hack. And this does not mean that companies have stopped hiring developers. It means that they are hiring developers who know how to multiply their output with AI. And that's completely a different skill. Today, engineering team expect developers to use tools like Claude, Copilot, Cursor, or even ChatGPT to generate repetitive code and understand unfamiliar code bases, write documentation, create unit tests, and even speed up debugging. So the expectation is no longer, can you write this from scratch? The expectation is more about, can you deliver a reliable software faster than before? Today, companies value developers who know how to review an AI-generated code, identify incorrect assumptions, verify security risks, and even decide whether the code is actually safe to deploy. If you are entering software engineering today in 2026, learning AI tool isn't optional anymore. The developers getting hired won't be the ones who avoid AI or blindly depend on it. They'll be the ones who know exactly where AI speeds up the development and where human thinking is still irreplaceable. And once companies know you can build software faster, they will ask one final question. Can you actually solve difficult problems when AI can't? And that's exactly where the next skill comes up. The number one skill that I'm going to talk about now is data structures and algorithms. Imagine you are interviewing two candidates, both know Python, both have built projects, both have used AI to write code. Now you give them a completely new problem that neither of them has seen before. That's the moment where companies discover who they are actually hiring. This is why data structure and algorithms still sit at the top of the technical interviews even after the rise of AI. Now, companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Atlassian, and hundreds of other product companies are not trying to find people who have memorized 500 lead code questions. They are trying to find engineers who can break an unfamiliar problem into smaller parts, compare multiple approaches, analyze time and memory complexity, and arrive at an efficient solution under pressure. There's another reason DSA has become even more important. AI can generate a working solution in seconds, but it does not teach you why that solution works. If you don't understand algorithms yourself, you can't optimize the code, identify edge cases, or even tell whether the AI's answer is the correct one. And that's why many experienced interviewers now care less about whether you reach the answer immediately and more about how you think through the problem. Your reasoning has become more important than your code. You see, frameworks will keep on changing, AI tools will keep on changing, but the ability to think logically, optimize solutions, and even solve problems under constraints has survived every major shift in software engineering. And that's why if I had to recommend just one skill that will still matter 10 years from now, it will still be data structures and algorithm, because it isn't an interview skill anymore. It's the foundation that makes every other technical skill more valuable. Now, before ending the video, I just want to say one thing. I've been in this industry for years, and one thing I've personally noticed that technology never stays the same. 10 years ago, generative AI wasn't even part of everyday software development, and today it's changing how software is built. 5 years from now, there will be another technology that will completely change and transform the industry again. But the people who continue to grow in their careers always have a few things in common. They are curious enough to keep learning, disciplined enough to stay consistent, and practical enough to adapt instead of resisting the change. These qualities matter much more than any single programming language or framework. So keep learning, keep building, and don't be afraid of the change. It has always been part of software engineering anyways. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like it, share it with a friend who's preparing for a tech career, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one soon.